Hey guys, this is lesson 3.5 and we're dividing some whole numbers, and this is the video for doing it the traditional method. So if you're partial quotient method, you want to watch the other video I did. Alright, so now if you are traditional method for division, I want you to stick with me here. So first off, I'm just touching up my paper a little bit. Before I start, I have to do 351 divided by 9. I'm going to do, I call them my helper facts. I'm just going to count by 9, my counting by 9 list. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, and 81. You never have to go past the 9th number in the list. Now, I'll show you how that helps me out. Now, if you're really good with your times tables, you might not have to do it. So I'm going to start by saying 9 does not go into 3. It does go into the 35 though, and it goes in 3 times, which is 27. And every time I subtract, I must bring down. So I'm down to 81. Now I have to figure out 9 into 81, which, if you count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, goes in 9 times, which is 81. Subtract 0. My answer is 39. Now that's an easier one-digit one, but in example 2, we have a two-digit one. So let me show you how I adapt my list of facts for this one. So I'm going to do, like the first 3 I know pretty easily, 31, 62, 93. But I'll add to that more later if I need it, but maybe I won't need it. So I'm going to start with 31. It does not go into 8, but it will. Let me write this bigger. 878 divided by 31. The book writes it too small. So like I said, 31 doesn't go into 8, but it will go into 87 2 times, which is 62. I'm going to subtract and bring down the 8. Now looking at my list here, I'm up to 93. I have to go up to 258, so I know it's going to be higher. This is 1, 2, 3. I'm not just going to do times 4 times 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try 31 times 6. That's 6, so I'm up to 186. So let me do 31 times 7. That's 7. That's 21. I'm up to 217. Let me do 31 times 8. That's 8. 248. All right. It's not going to be 9. 9 will be higher than 258. So 31 is going to go 8 times into 258, which is 248. When I subtract, I get 10. And since there's nothing to bring down, it's 28 remainder 10. Or, if you write it as a fraction remainder, 28. Remember, take your remainder as your numerator, and the number you're dividing by, your divisor as your denominator. So 28 and 10 31st. All right, either one of those is correct for that one. All right, so that's how I used my counting by list with a 2-digit and a 1-digit. Now your job is to do problem A and problem B. So do them both, pause the video, restart it when you're done, and we'll see if you're right. Go ahead. All right, guys, so I'm going to do problem A, and for this one, I am not going to do a counting by list. So I'm going to go, this is for the people who are really good with their facts and don't need the counting by list. Now, if you use the counting by list, that's fine. That works for me. All right, you ready? 8 does not go into 7, but it goes into 76 9 times, which is 72. Every time I subtract, I must bring down. And 8 goes into 48 6 times, because 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract 0, I'm done. My answer is 96, no remainder. All right, now B, I am going to use a bit of a helper fraction here. So I'm going to do 318 divided by 16, or I'll do my list here. So 16, 32, 48. I'll stop there for now. I'll add some more later. So let me see where I'm going to need. So I see 16 doesn't go into 3, and it doesn't go into 30, let me rephrase that. It does go into 31. It goes in 1 time. And 1 times 16 is 16. And if I subtract 31 minus 16, I get 15. Now I'm going to bring down the 8. My new number is 158. So I have to figure out how many times 16 goes into 158. Now, I know 16 times 10 is 160, and you can't do times 10 anyway. And do you see how 158 is just a little bit left? That's how I'm going to use some estimating here and say 16 is probably going to go in 9 times. All right, so 9 times 6 is 54. Carry the 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So 16 is going to go in 9 times, which is 144. Subtract, I get 14. So my answer is 19 remainder 14. Or if you do a fraction remainder, it's 19 and 14 sixteenths, which reduces to 19 and 7 eighths. So either one of those circled answers is okay. All right, guys, let's go on to the next page. Now, on this page, I'm actually not going to go over example 3 because it's not that different from example 2. But I am going to go over example 4 because it is a real-world problem. So, going over this one, it says, the average person has 1,460 dreams a year. What is the average number of dreams a person has each night? So what we have to do is we have to take our 1,460 dreams and split them by the number of nights in a year. Remember, if you know there's 365 days in a year, there's 365 nights in a year. So I'm going to do this division problem, but let me get my page cleaned up. All right, now I have some more room. Now, I hate to tell you guys, but counting by 365 is just a pain in the butt. And that's just what you're going to have to do here. So 365 times 1 is 365. Now, I know I have to go up to 1460, so I'm going to do, maybe try 365 times 3. Okay, that's 15. 18 plus 1 is 19. 9 plus 1 is 10. I'm up to 1,095. Maybe I'll do times 4. Okay, 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 2 is 26. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. All right, so I'm up to 460. But hey, I just noticed something. 365 goes into that exactly 4 times. Because look at what I get. 1460. So, guess what? That one wasn't as hard as I thought. But all it took was having to do a couple practice facts over here. So now remember, it's a word problem. We need a label. What is the average number of dreams a person has each night? So the answer would be, on average, 4 dreams. You typically have 4 dreams in a night, according to that problem. All right, so now going down, and we're going to do 2 more problems here. So let me get my problems ready. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to do C and E, and that's it. We're not going to do D. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video. I want you to do C, and then I want you to do E, and then restart the video and check your answers. If you're absolutely stuck, you can restart the video and work on the problems with me. All right, but I'd like you to try them on your own. Anyway, go ahead, pause the video now, and get started. All right, so I'm going to start with problem C here, 4,321 divided by 56. And as you can see, I started my counting by 56 list. So I'm going to show you a way I actually count by 56 is I think of 56 as 50 and 6. So I'm going to add 50 and then 6 to 112. Now, if you can't do this mental math and you don't want to do it, so 112 plus 50 is 162. 6 more is 168. Now, you can keep doing that, or I can just do 168 plus 56. Okay, that's 14. That's 12. I'm up to 224. All right, now I'm just going to start with my first 4. Maybe I won't need anything bigger than that. Actually, yes, I will, because look, it doesn't go into 4 or 43, so I have to put it into 432. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be higher than my first 4 facts. So I'm going to try maybe 56 times 7. It's 42. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39. I'm up to 392. All right, so the 7th one is 392, so let me do 56 times 8. That's 48. Carry the 4. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 4 is 44. I'm up to 448, which is too high. Okay, so I'm going with 7. It goes in 7 times, which is 392. Going to subtract, do some borrowing. 13 minus 9 is 4. Bring down the 1. So I'm at 401. Now looking, here's the good part about doing the facts. 8 is still too big, and 7 is going to be the one that works. So it's going to go in 7 more times, which is 392. And 401 minus 392 is 9. So it's going to be 77 remainder 9, or 77 and 9/56. Either one of those is okay as an answer. All right, now you should also have done E, so I'm going to go down to problem E and get ready there. All right, so let's read problem E. Problem E says, to promote its opening weekend, a water park gave the local middle school 1,050 free tickets. The middle school has 350 tickets. Each student will receive the same number of tickets. That's key. How many tickets will each student receive? So here's what's going on in the problem. The 1,050 tickets are being split equally by 350 students. Okay, so that means it's a division problem. Now, to figure this out, I'm going to figure out what 350 goes into. It does not go into 1, it does not go into 10, it does not go into 105. So we have to put it into the whole thing. So this one actually isn't that bad, because if you can count by 35 a little bit, 35, 70, 105, to count by 350, it's just really add a 0 on the end of that. And if I do that, check this out. Isn't that exactly 1050? So pretty quickly, 350 goes into that 3 times, which is 1050. Subtract 0. Now remember, it's a word problem. How many tickets will each student receive? Well, the answer is going to be 3 tickets. All right, that's it for problem E. So that's going to be it for me with the video. Remember, you don't have to do D. And on the next page, I'm not going over example 5 because it's a lot like what we just did. But I do know if you're absent, you're probably going to be having to do some of these problems down here. So check your absent sheet to make sure you're doing them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are done with me. If you have questions, make sure you ask me. Thanks, guys.